Hey yo everyone, today in Plant Coaster we are finally back in Theonopolis. So let's not waste any more time and let's get straight into it, shall we? So as I said in the last video, we are starting off big with the Lighthouse of Alexandria, or as I would like to call it, the Pharos of Alexandria. Both are real names for the same thing. I want to call it the Pharos of Alexandria for the rest of this video, but I know I will mess up and will call it Lighthouse and Pharos interchangeably, so I'm not going to make a statement right now like, oh yeah, this is the Pharos of Alexandria. I'm probably going to just mess up. So if I say Pharos or Lighthouse, I mean the same thing. But to start, I just wanted to build something in Theonopolis for a long time, and then as I said in the last video, I played Imperator Rome or Rome Imperator. Still, like, I played the game between these videos and I still can't remember the name when I'm not playing. But there is some art in the loading screens where the lighthouse is just front and center. And I was just like, this would be amazing in the harbor area of Theonopolis. Even though it doesn't really fit, but in my mind it does. Because on the Discord that I am, or at least it's the Channel 5 Discord, so secret shout out to just... if you want to talk to me, I'm probably on there, and if you look at my name, it's already a quick identifier about how weird I am on there and how weird and fun that Discord is. So anyway, I got the discussion on there that the lighthouse doesn't really fit because Theonopolis is ancient Greece and the lighthouse is more classical times and not like completely Grecian. But I would argue that it somehow still is, and Theonopolis is set around conquest of Alexandria, so it makes sense to have some things that are later and some things that are maybe before, because Theonopolis is pretty much just a mashup of classical Greek architecture. And the lighthouse is just a shining example of that, so that's why it's here. But to go into further detail, the lighthouse was built just after Alexander died, like in the 50-year span after he died, when one of his generals, his empire was completely split up in all these different areas ruled by his generals, and Egypt was ruled by one of his generals, and he built the lighthouse as well to honor Alexander, because even though he's a big narcissist, because I think 50% of all the towns he founded are named Alexandria or some other way with his name, I don't know where I'm going with this. But the lighthouse was built in honor of Alexander, and the general, of course, is completely Greek. I don't know the general's name because, as I said 10 million times, I'm bad with names, but that general became king or pharaoh of Egypt after Alexander died, and he built the lighthouse in honor of Alexander. So yeah, there's some Egyptian influence, which I can mostly see in the base, but beyond that there is a pretty strong Grecian influence with the pillars and just the overall form of the lighthouse. So I just thought, I want to build this. It somehow fits. Let's not waste any time, let's just build it. So in this video, it's mostly just foundation, or as I would call it, the block work, because yeah, I'm pretty much building blocks. Because the lighthouse is, well, it's three parts. You have the base, which slopes, which is a bit hard for me because I have never built a building that slopes outwards, or not at least to the extent that this lighthouse does. And then you have the middle part, which isn't cylindrical, but it's some other form with, I don't know, 8 angles, 8 hooks, something. But then you have the upper part with, well, the fire and light, which is cylindrical. So it's basically just 3 parts, or 3 blocks as I would call them, and then detailing. But detailing will be probably in the next video and the video after that, because that's detailing this thing is pretty annoying, because I want to make it closely resemble the original thing, and the original thing is a ruin. It doesn't exist except for the foundations anymore. And I don't think even the foundations are completely there yet anymore. And all these pictures on the internet and everything that I found, yeah, they are similar because they all have the 3 parts: the base, the middle, and the lights, as I would call that part. But there are always like small changes or differences between those images. Like in some areas, the middle is round and not, well, something, and in others, the roof is round, and in others, it's, well, it's a sphere, or I don't know, like names. I'm not even going to attempt that anymore. But yeah, there are so many differences between each image because it's no longer there, and it's, well, I think if I'm correct, it was just destroyed or fell apart. No, it was actually destroyed because some, well, not Pharaoh, but some sultan wanted to build his fortress on the place, which, like, I have nothing against like sultans in Egypt in that time. It's just when you destroy beautiful buildings just to build something of your own, I just hate that. Like, no matter where you are, leave classical and ancient structures alone. Like, they are beautiful and you shouldn't touch them. But yeah, so there's a lot of different images, so I'm just going to try and carve a middle way and get some inspiration from these images and some inspiration from those images, and yeah. But as I said, this video will be block working and a little bit of detailing on the upper area with the fire and everything. And I actually, because I never knew like how do they, you know, make that work in ancient times. Like now we have lights that we can turn around and, you know, it's a little bit more obvious or a little bit more easily seen. And in ancient times, it was just, I think, a huge bonfire or like a furnace that was on top of there that just gave away a lot of light. And then I found out that actually in daytime they would have like a giant mirror up there that would reflect sunlight so that it's still, well, seenable, I was going to say, but that's not a word. But yeah, that it was still somehow be able to seem like this is the harbor, because I don't know. When I look at Alexandria now and you know how it would have looked, I don't really see any like dangers, but then again, it's easy sure if where you're going is just really easy and identifiable words today. But yeah, that's enough ramble on how it looked and everything. But for the Pharos or Lighthouse, as I said, this episode is block work. Then probably 2 episodes after this are going to be the detailing with, you know, the middle area and the lower area. And I have some qualms about the lower area, but I'm not going to go into spoiler territory for my next videos. And then 1 video about the courtyard and, you know, the square that's surrounding it. And then the last video is going to be probably just making it fit into Theonopolis, like, because I built the lighthouse as like, first as like a completely separate building. Like I don't care about how it looks in Theonopolis. And then when the building is completely done, then I will like move it in the right place, and then I will actually make it fit in Theonopolis. So yeah, and I want to finish the lighthouse in this week. So that is like 5 videos, and I usually make like 3 videos a week, so that's going to be a huge difference, and I'm going to be busy because I need to edit all those videos, and well, I don't have to build anymore because I have 3 hours of footage. Well, I actually still have to build, but don't listen to that. Anyway, it's yeah, it's quite a difficult build because, as I said, it's 3 shapes, which isn't that difficult, but the lower area or the base is sloping outwards, and I always hate that because when it slopes outwards, the edges are not, you know, straight up, and I just don't really like to do that. But it's a challenge, and who am I to not face any challenges? Well, then actually that would make complete sense for me. So yeah. Also, because I don't really have much to say anymore about the Pharos or the Lighthouse without going into spoiler territory, I wanted to say or describe what is going to be Theonopolis from now on, because there is some restructuring going on with Theonopolis itself. Because, yeah, a giant city was quite impossible to make for me. Or at least, it's not impossible to make, it's just impossible for me. Because, as I always say, I have the attention span of a squirrel. So, to make an entire city, I get easily bored with like building just houses constantly. I mean, Vidian also had that, where I stopped building the town on screen and now I'm like building all these separate areas. So Theonopolis is going to not have the exact same process of that, but I will make the, well, town or city building a little bit less. I will kind of make it like the Agora is an area, the main street, then you have the Palace District or the Palace area. I don't know if I'm going to make it like a district or just some palaces in like the countryside. But between those, well, areas, and I have some other areas planned, I want to make either farmlands or something similar to that, just countryside, or like buildings of a lesser density. So that there's a clear separation between areas and it's a little bit less monotone for me to build, because we have all seen what happened when I got bored of Theonopolis and then I left it for a month. And I only came back because I started playing another game what was ancient times related, so yeah. At least I now have like 5 videos in a week, so I'm getting punished for that. Or I'm getting trained to improve on that, whatever you think of it. But so, as I said, there is some restructuring going on, and one sacrifice or one victim of that restructuring is the dark ride in the library. Because for some reason, I just didn't see that one coming together anymore. I just, I had the idea behind it, and then looking back on it, I just can't see to connect the lines anymore. So that dark ride is going to be scrapped. It's going to be killed off. And the flat ride that is in the library, it's going to remain there. I'm not going to remove any rides. And then there's the other dark ride, which I teased heavily, and I think I set the date for the release of the dark ride 2 times and I never released it. But it is closely done, so I was like, I can remove this, but then like a week's worth of work is just gone. So I'm going to finish that one, but it's not a priority of me. I'm just focusing on the Pharos, and then I think in every other area I want to have like an icon, but that icon could be just, a ride or an ancient wonder. Because I already have plans to... Wait, let me state that different, because I never have plans, I just have ideas, and I never know if I'm going to work on them. So I'm not going to promise that plans are going to be set in motion, but I have ideas surrounding like the Temple of Artemis in Ephesus. I think when I built the library, I already struggled with that name, so I'm not going to go into that. But I have ideas for that temple, and then maybe like the mausoleum in Halikarnassos. Names. Man, like I love ancient Greek buildings and cities and just time, and the names are just so... I'm not even going to try, but the mausoleum and the Temple of Artemis, I am thinking of adding those. Maybe like the mausoleum is going to be part of the palatial district area, something like that. But yeah, that's on the restructuring of Theonopolis, and I'm already going to say it's probably like a month of Theonopolis again, and then maybe like a month of Verdian, and then a month of Theonopolis. So yeah, I kind of have the groove of just doing a month of this, a month of that, because as this week is going to be completely Theonopolis, I probably am going to just devote 1 month to Theonopolis, 1 month to Verdian, and change every now and then, because my building style or my way of building is just when I get inspiration, I build. If I don't get inspiration, I don't build, because I feel that if I don't have inspiration, I just don't build well. Like I need to have like a well of inspiration to pull out from everything that I want to build. But anyway, that means that Viridian is probably going to be not seen for a month again. And then Theonopolis is not going to be seen for a month again. Yeah, that's just how I work. I really would like to change that, but seeing what things come out of it when I do this, I kind of think like, yeah, it's not the best way to build, but for me it really works. So I'm going to stick to that. So again, next video, maybe tomorrow or the day after that, is going to be detailing. Then the other video is also going to be detailing, and then we're going into courtyard and surroundings. I'm going to find some better names for that, of course. But that will be all for today. I really hope you liked the video. If you do, I hope to see you in the next video, and I hope you have an amazing day. Again, thank you for watching, and bye bye.